What's up, everybody? Welcome back. Patrick here. In this question, we have a particle that has a displacement expressed with that function d of t equals 20 minus 30 over the square root of 9 plus 2t. And that's in meters after t minutes. And we have to find when is the particle's velocity going to be 0.24 meters per minute. Well, we have the displacement function of this particle, but they're asking us for the velocity, or they're asking us to find a time when a specific velocity happens. And we know that the derivative of a displacement function is going to be the velocity function. So what we have to do is we have to find the derivative of this function, get the velocity function, and then make that derivative equal to 0.24, see when that happens at what time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to rewrite the function that we were given, the displacement function. So we got 20 minus 30. However, instead of writing the square root of 9 plus 2t, I'm going to change it to a rational exponent. So I'm going to write that as 9 plus 2t to the power of a half. And one more thing I'm going to do before taking the derivative, you can take the derivative from here, by the way. So this is just going to be 0, then you can apply the quotient rule here. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring this up. So instead of having it in the denominator, I'm going to write it in the numerator. And then this exponent, I'm going to just change to negative a half, like that. Right? So we can get rid of this denominator, and in my opinion, this is just easier to derive. For me personally, you don't have to do this, but this is the way that I'm going to do it. So this expression here, this function, this displacement function, is the same as this one that we were given. I just manipulated it a bit before taking the derivative. So now let's find the velocity function, which is just going to be the derivative of the displacement. Derivative of 20 is 0. And then this expression here, we're going to have to apply the chain rule on this, because notice how it's a function within another function. So bringing that negative a half down, negative a half times negative 30 gives us positive 15. And then I'm going to rewrite the function as is, and then negative a half minus 1 gives us negative 3 over 2. And then we got to take the derivative of the inside function. The derivative of 9 plus 2t is just 2. So this here is the derivative of this function. And then let's simplify this a little more. Let's make it look a little nicer. So 15 times 2, that gives us 30. And then this negative exponent I'm going to bring to the denominator. So I'm going to rewrite 9 plus 2t to the power of 3 over 2, like that. So this here is the velocity function for this particle that has that displacement. And we have to find when is the velocity going to be 0.24. So we basically got to solve this equation here. So this 0.24 we can put over 1, and then we can just cross multiply. 1 times 30 just gives us 30, and then 0.24 times that expression will keep them separate. 9 plus 2t to the power of 3 over 2. And then we're trying to get this t here. We're trying to solve for this t. So what we can do, we can get rid of this 0.24 first. Since it's attached to that expression, we have to divide both sides by 0.24. And then 30 divided by 0.24, let's continue that up here. 30 divided by 0.24 is 125. So we got 125 equals, notice the 0.24s will cancel out here, and we'll have 9 plus 2t to the power of 3 over 2. Right? So it's starting to look a lot better. We're getting closer to that t. But how are we going to get rid of this exponent 3 over 2 here? Well, what we can do is we can take both sides to the power of the reciprocal of that exponent. So 3 over 2, reciprocal of that is 2 over 3. What we do to one side, we got to do to the other side. So 3 over 2 times 2 over 3 is just 1. That's why we want to multiply it by its reciprocal to get 1. 9 plus 2t to the power of 1 is just 9 plus 2t. And then 125 to the power of 2 over 3, if you do that in your calculator, you end up getting 25. You can also do it manually, so 125 to the power of 2 over 3, that's the same as like 125 to the power of 1 over 3 squared. Third root of 125 is 5. Squared is 25. Right? So that's what the left side is equal. And now notice solving for that t is super easy at this point. So we bring the 9 over. 25 minus 9 is 16. Equals 2t. Divide both sides by 2. T is 8. So the speed of the particle is going to be the velocity of the particle is going to be 0.24 meters per minute at a time of 8 minutes.